Coming up next, as Republicans prepare to take control of the White House and Congress, we talk with local lawmakers about the election outcome and its effects.
And usually that's when the government has gone too far in one way or another.
Plus, deer damage, why Pennsylvania becomes one of the worst states in the country for crashes at this time of year.
And check your refrigerator. A nationwide recall is underway after a sickness outbreak in nearly 20 states. The Center County Report starts now.
Good afternoon. I'm Hannah Valcourt.
And I'm Declan Stablo. Thanks for joining us for the Center County Report. Our top story, the outcome of the election 2 weeks ago means Republican control of the U.S. House, Senate, and White House along with the state Senate. What's that all mean moving forward? Reporter Kenny Ojikari is in our studio with a look into that question. Kenny?
Yeah, Declan. So the last time we've seen Republicans have this sort of majority control in the U.S. was after Trump's inauguration in 2017. With wins in the House and Senate, the GOP and Trump now have a lot of legislative power. I spoke with two Pennsylvania lawmakers about the big changes coming to our nation's capital. President-elect Donald Trump won both the popular and electoral college vote in this month's election, part of a sweeping win by Republicans in the White House, Senate, and House. The Associated Press reports Republicans will hold 53 Senate seats to the Democrats' 47. In the House, the GOP now has a 218 to 212 majority. Many Democrats fear the new Trump administration may enact far-right policies on a national level. But lawmakers like Democratic State Representative Paul Takak say that's where state legislation and lawmakers matter most.
It actually makes what we're doing at the state level so much more important. What we do will mitigate some of these very direct and harmful impacts, especially here in Pennsylvania.
State Senator Chris Dush says the big win by Republicans shows the nation's feelings toward the Biden-Harris administration.
There's a lot of effort to push an agenda, and quite honestly, it's the agenda that the people of America voted against.
But Takak believes the media and social media played a big part in this election outcome.
There's probably never been a time when so much has been accomplished and so little has been communicated. I don't think people felt that. I think they've forgotten what 4 years ago looked like coming out of a pandemic where we had sky-high inflation, we had sky-high unemployment.
Along with control of the presidency, House, and Senate, many Democrats also point to a Supreme Court they say is more partisan than it should be.
The fiction that the Supreme Court is somehow nonpartisan has certainly been laid to rest over the last several years.
But Dush says otherwise.
This court is more independent than it had been for a couple decades. They've had things that have ticked off both sides, so I think they're trying to follow the rule of law.
While Republicans will soon have more control at the federal level, the Pennsylvania legislature remains split between both parties.
John Rutherford.
States now have to certify their election results and send them to Congress to be counted. Then, Electoral College members meet in each state to cast their state's electoral votes for president and vice president. It'll take place in less than a month on Tuesday, December 17th. Live in the studio, I'm Kenny Ojikari. Now back to you.
Thanks, Kenny. Pennsylvania counties have until tomorrow to start the recount for the U.S. Senate race between incumbent Democrat Bob Casey and Republican Dave McCormick. The Associated Press called the race for McCormick 2 days after the election, but Casey never conceded and the vote margin was small enough to trigger an automatic recount by law. Counties must begin the recount no later than tomorrow and finish by noon on November 26th. But just last night, the state Supreme Court ordered counties to not count mail-in ballots that lack a correct handwritten date on the return envelope. That's potentially a win for McCormick and another roadblock for Casey.
An outbreak of E. coli has infected dozens of people who ate organic carrots, and one person died. The CDC says altogether 39 people were infected and 15 were hospitalized in 18 states after eating organic whole and baby carrots sold by Grimway Farms. The carrots are being recalled. They were sold under multiple brands, including Wegmans, Trader Joe's, 365, Cal Organic, Nature's Promise, and O Organics. They're no longer in stores, but the CDC is warning consumers to not eat recalled bagged carrots and to check their refrigerators and throw away any carrots that fit the description.
The busiest holiday for travel is almost here, and this year is expected to set records. AAA predicts nearly 80 million people will travel 50 miles or more from home over the Thanksgiving holiday. For the first time, AAA's forecast includes the Tuesday before and the Monday after Thanksgiving Day to better capture the flow of holiday travel. This year's projection is up about 1.7 million people compared to last year.
It's that time of year for deer damage in Pennsylvania. Our state ranks as one of the top nationwide for deer-related car crashes, and November and December are especially dangerous. Gianna Brown takes a closer look and talks with a crash victim.
Deer, damage, and less daylight. It's a bad combination across Pennsylvania. In fact, our state is first in the nation for insurance claims filed for animal vehicle collisions, according to State Farm Insurance. Just 2 weeks ago, Mallory Gillespie became one of those victims in Center County.
And I was coming up along this curve, and this baby deer comes out and ran under my tire. And it was super, super sad.
Experts say the state's high deer population, along with the end of daylight saving time and earlier sunsets, is a recipe for a spike in deer-related collisions. Statistics shows Pennsylvania drivers have the fourth best chance of hitting a deer, 1 in 61. When daylight savings time ends, drivers spend more time on the road during the dawn and dusk hours. Pennsylvania is already a state with a high number of deer-related collisions, but these numbers will only continue to rise. PennDOT says there were more than 5,800 deer-related crashes last year. They resulted in over 1,200 injuries and 9 fatalities. Gillespie says,
But I didn't know what else to do. I just had to kind of go and leave it there, so.
With more deer and less people hunting, this time of the year is prime time for auto body shops as they handle a big jump in car damage. In State College, I'm Gianna Brown for the Center County Report.
State Farm Insurance says the most dangerous months for animal collisions are November, October, and December in that order. Around 2 million deer vehicle crashes happen every year nationwide.
CATA is extending operating hours for its B-Line service, which connects Bellefonte and Benner Township. Starting this week, the B-Line runs from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday, adding 6 extra hours a day. The service, which replaced CATA Go and CATA Ride in July, offers 22 pickup locations in Bellefonte, with a main connection point at Nittany Mall. Riders must schedule trips 1 day in advance, and fares are $4 cash only.
A popular sandwich chain has opened a new location in State College. Jersey Mike's has opened on Shiloh Road in College Township. The shop includes a drive-thru along with in-store ordering and curbside pickup. The grand opening includes a fundraiser running through Sunday to support Pink Zone for breast cancer. It's the third Jersey Mike's in State College. The others are on Atherton Street. And another new sandwich shop has arrived in Center County. Moxmo Pictures Famous Sandwiches just opened its doors on Benner Pike. The family-owned shop is making its way from Huntington, where it's seen a lot of success the past few years. The shop will offer everything from cheesesteaks to build-your-own subs. It's open Monday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Still to come on the Center County Report. Could we see snow later this week? We'll check the 7-day forecast.
And the local impacts of a potential home football playoff game in State College. Also coming up, you might be surprised why hundreds of people turned out for a unique goodbye celebration in downtown State College. We'll tell you all about it. As Penn State intensifies its push for a college football playoff spot, the prospect of a potential home game in December is growing. That game could bring thousands of people to State College and some challenges. Dave Clipper explains.
It's an exciting time for Penn State football fans. With each passing week, the Nittany Lions edge closer to a potential December playoff game at Beaver Stadium. Fans like Kyle Hannon are excited.
Well, let me tell you, there will be magic in the air. Christmas around the corner will be like a Christmas gift, but even better because it's something that we've been waiting for, something that we wanted, something that we could taste on the tip of our tongues.
If it happens, it'll be a milestone moment for the team and an economic boost for Center County. Another weekend of full restaurants, bars, hotels, and shops. but it's also a potential headache, falling on the same weekend as Penn State's fall commencement.
Okay. Once we see it becomes official, we'll probably get some bookings there. But that weekend already has December graduation there. So we're already kind of booked for that event.
Some businesses, like Brothers in downtown State College, are trying to fight short staffing for a playoff weekend, at a time when many student employees are already gone for winter break.
That's going to happen the week before Christmas, after much of our staff has already left town. And so we are already proactively planning for that sort of inevitability. We're making sure that we have the right amount of people in our building. We're making sure that we have the right people here over break, and we're making accommodations in the event that we need to make them.
But he says it's a good problem to have.
The anticipation is building here in Happy Valley as the possibility of a home playoff football game in Beaver Stadium draws closer. If this were to happen, it wouldn't just be a big moment for Penn State football, but also for the local community and especially the fans. In University Park, I'm Dave Clipper for the Center County Report.
Ticket information is beginning to come out. The university has offered season ticket holders a first shot at reserving tickets, and Penn State will reportedly have its full 21,000-seat student section available to students.
Christmas magic will be in the air this week as State College kicks off the holiday season with the 5th annual Light Up Night event. It'll happen Thursday from 5 till 8 p.m. on Allen Street, and at MLK Plaza downtown, the Winter Carnival features holiday music, free food and beverages from local vendors, and charitable events including a toy drive and food drive. Santa Claus himself will also make an appearance for the lighting of the tree at the Allen Street gates.
Well, Light Up the Night isn't the only sign that winter is on the way. We could be seeing some snow by the end of the week. For now, though, all the rain here on our radar satellite is rain. No frozen precipitation of any kind. But there are some rain showers you see beginning to creep in from the west. So areas in Pittsburgh up through Erie and western Pennsylvania right now are seeing some showers. And I think later on this evening, we'll see some showers here in central Pennsylvania as well. It's all because of a warm front that's lifting into our area right now. This cold front will move through tomorrow. That cold front will begin to knock our temperatures off quite a bit tomorrow overnight hours, and that's what will lead eventually to the chance for some snow later on this week. But this is a very potent low pressure system wrapping up lots of moisture in it as well. Temperatures out there right now are actually pretty warm for this time of year. We're at 50 in State College right now, close to 60 degrees in Harrisburg. We're at 54 in Altoona too. And so those temperatures, we won't get a lot warmer than that here this afternoon. Highs only in the mid-50s here in State College, and will remain dry up until about 6-7 o'clock or so, and that's when we could see the chance for an isolated shower this evening through overnight tonight. So just be aware if you're heading out, you may need to take your jacket with you this evening. Low temperatures tonight in the upper 40s, and that isolated chance for showers sticks around through to tomorrow morning. Then tomorrow in the afternoon with that front, that's when the rain begins to intensify a bit. Tomorrow we'll be in the warm sector though, a high of 57 degrees before that front rolls through. And then tomorrow overnight, that's when the temperatures begin to drop off fairly significantly. And we could be seeing our first flakes by the time we get into late in the day on Thursday and early on Friday. So you see here, tomorrow evening, late, that's when the rainfall really begins to pick up. And then we get temperatures dropping off very quickly on the backside of the cold front. And by the time we get to Thursday evening, that's when we could see the chance for some snow. You see it here. I don't think we'll have much accumulation in our area, but we could see some snow that accumulates, especially in some of the higher elevations through the Laurel Highlands and across the northern tier of Pennsylvania. Nonetheless, we have lots of students that are going to be traveling home for Thanksgiving break Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And so if you're traveling during this time, please use caution traveling or even consider delaying your travel until the snow moves out. Now, when do we think this snow changes to rain? I think in the morning on Friday, although there's a little bit of uncertainty on this. Eventually, Friday will continue to see scattered rain showers through the rest of the afternoon, so just something to keep in mind. I don't think this snow will stick, at least here in State College, other than some grassy surfaces though, and that's because of the surface temperatures. You see 34, a surface temperature in State College Friday morning, and so that's why I think some of those snowflakes may melt on contact. Here's the 7-day forecast. You see it's really an unsettled pattern that we're entering into. We do really need the rain, but that messy weather Thursday into Friday could make for a messy commute. So if you can delay your travel plans to Friday afternoon or later, I think that'll be your best bet.
Yeah, I'm so excited to finally get some wintry mix in our forecast.
Yeah, it's nice there's no game for the weather to ruin, but I'm just hoping everyone makes it home safe this weekend.
Me too.
Now to Chris Reynolds with sports.
Coming up next in sports, a new season begins for Penn State wrestling, plus high school football playoff highlights. Also ahead, looking back on a big Nittany Lion win on the road at Purdue. Sports is next. I'm Chris Reynolds with sports. Penn State football is on the road again this weekend as the team heads to Minnesota, but they're feeling good about their playoff chances after a dominant win over Purdue on Saturday. The Nittany Lions came out strong in West Lafayette against Purdue, scoring on their opening drive with a touchdown pass to Katron Allen. On the next drive, they turned to star tight end Tyler Warren, who made an impressive touchdown catch while staying in bounds. Defensively, Penn State allowed just a field goal early in the second quarter, the only points Purdue scored in the first half. The Lions responded with a rushing touchdown by Nick Singleton, set up by a trick play involving Warren and Drew Aller. In the second half, Penn State maintained their dominance. Lined up in a wildcat formation, Warren took a direct snap and raced 48 yards untouched, extending Penn State's lead 28-3. Head coach James Franklin has praised Warren all season and did so again after the game.
I think he's part of the conversation and one of the best players in all of college football, let alone the tight end position.
Drew Aller capped off an efficient performance with a 46-yard touchdown pass to a wide-open Harrison Wallace. Aller finished the game completing 17 of 19 passes for 247 yards and 3 touchdowns. While the Boilermakers managed a late touchdown, Penn State kept rolling, with backup quarterback Bo Pribula contributing both a rushing and a passing touchdown. Final score, 49-10. Franklin said this was his team's most complete game of the season and emphasized the importance of building off of this game.
I think I told you guys at the beginning of the week that we needed to find a way to win this game and get better. I thought we did that tonight. We want to continue on that trajectory this week.
With the win, Penn State improves to 9-1 on the season and remains ranked number 4 in the AP poll. Saturday's kickoff at Minnesota is set for 3:30 p.m., and you can listen to the game live on Penn State Com Radio with our broadcast team in Minneapolis. Over to high school football, the playoffs roll on. State College High demolished Williamsport 75-14 over the weekend, and Richland traveled to meet Cambria Heights at Mansion Park, where one team was crowned the 2A District 6 champion. Nico Rodriguez has that story.
The Cambria Heights Highlanders came into the 2A District Championship on a 12-game win streak. The team's undefeated record marked the best season since 2021. This is also the best season they've had under head coach Jared Lewis. In 2020, the Highlanders lost to Richland in the 2A Championship. Coach Lewis wondered if they would ever be back there.
Defense has been great all year, and just a different guy going every single time. That's what's made us tough all year. Different guys touching the ball, different guys making big plays.
Check out the scene behind me here at Mansion Park as all the family and friends are gathered around. You can tell this win clearly means a lot for the community.
We made a couple changes in the locker room, but we wanted to get right at them, get our ground game going, and that's what we did.
Cambria Heights came out of the locker room for the second half as a different team. The offense scored 4 times. Senior Trey Tribus, who found the end zone twice tonight, mentioned the halftime changes.
I give all the credit to the coaches. We're a second half team. We just make adjustments in the locker room, and then we come out and just do our job.
The Highlander defense held Richland to only 7 second half points. Cambria Heights will now enjoy the night as the journey continues at least another week.
You can see playoff highlights Friday night in our sports show After the Whistle. That's live at 11:30 p.m. and our YouTube channel, Penn State Student Media. Penn State Wrestling's new season is off and running. Their next match is this weekend at Army West Point in the Black Knight Invitational. The Nittany Lions had their home opener against Drexel on Sunday. Before the match, alum Aaron Brooks helped reveal the team's new national championship banner in Rec Hall. The Nittany Lions had 2 freshmen, Luke Lillidahl and Kale Nazio, make their collegiate debut in Penn State's 41-3 win. Penn State men's hockey looks to snap a 4-game losing streak when they hit the ice again this weekend. It was a rough weekend at Pagula as the Nittany Lions were swept by Wisconsin. Despite a third-period comeback by Penn State on Friday, the Badgers walked away with a 5-4 overtime win. On Saturday, the crowd enjoyed the annual teddy bear toss for charity, but Wisconsin won the game 6-3 after scoring 4 goals in the first period. The Nittany Lions host Michigan this weekend. And the women's hockey team had a successful series as they swept Lindenwood over the weekend. The Lions squeaked out a 3-2 overtime victory in Game 1, courtesy of a Carly Garcia goal. They followed it with a dominating 7-1 victory in Game 2. Penn State welcomes Robert Morris to Pagula later this week. Penn State women's soccer is into the next round as the team continues its postseason run. The Lions travel to Tallahassee, Florida this week for a matchup against number 7 TCU on Friday. Penn State dominated in the opening round match against Stony Brook, winning 8-1. 6 different players notched a goal in the final game of the year at Jeffrey Field. Penn State volleyball returns home this week to face Purdue at Rec Hall. The Lions are now 25-2 on the season. The number 4 Nittany Lions swept Illinois on Friday night. Penn State had 9 aces and only allowed 2 aces for Illinois. Cameron Hanna had 13 kills in the 3-0 win. Penn State followed up that match with the win at Maryland on Sunday. That's all for sports. Now back to you, Hannah and Declan.
Thanks, Chris. It's so nice having the fall and winter sports overlapping right now.
Yeah, it's cool with all the potential playoff buzz and all the tournaments, but to be honest, what I'm looking forward to most is seeing what Cale Sanderson does with this wrestling team. He always has them elite.
For sure, definitely a fun time to be a Nittany Lion fan.
Thanks, Chris. Coming up next, see what brought out hundreds of people to a street corner in State College to say goodbye to a beloved friend. Restaurants open and close all the time, especially in college towns. We told you about 2 new ones earlier in this newscast, but the closing of one place in State College brought an unusual sight. A big crowd turned out for a vigil and a show of support for McDonald's on Sunday night. The event even had candles and songs. The store on East College Avenue closed over the weekend. Plans call for a 12-story high-rise building there, and the McDonald's will be demolished. But there's hope for Penn State students. Design plans also appear to show a possible new McDonald's in the new building. We'll have to wait and see. That's all for today's newscast. We hope you'll join us Friday for our next local news update.
And you can follow us anytime for breaking news on our Center County Report X. And you can see our stories on our Facebook page, Instagram, YouTube, and our website. Have a great afternoon.